Darlington Raceway is the location of stop number 5 on the Castrol GTX Cup Series, as this track, of course, known as the track Too Tough to Tame, or the Lady in Black, or whichever name you want to call it. But anyway, we are here today for the running of the Dodge Challenger 500. This is the 5th stop of this series. We had 4 winners in the first four races so far. Great races in the first 4 races, I should say. Well, 4 races. Well, 3 good races and 1 crap show. But anyway, we'll see what Darlington brings us here today as we're set for 56 laps of action. Here's the starting line for today's running event. On the pole in the GM Government Chevrolet, car number 3 at 173 miles per hour is Cole Deaver. On the pole, his win this season came at last race on the tour at Atlanta, as a matter of fact. And he'll be alongside Jessica Shelton, number 11, Budweiser Ford. She's won this track twice, but both of those were in the Southern 500. We'll see if she can get her pick up her first Darlington race. See if she can pick up her first race win at the first Darlington race. Row 2, Dylan Young and the number 2 Miller Genuine Draft Ford, and Becca Taylor in the Valvoline Ford. Car number 6 has row 2. Row 3 has car number 42, Kyle Matthews, who won the season at Richmond, the Melly Yellow Pontiac. And number 22, Maxwell House Ford of Dylan Poteet has the outside. Fourth row, has Seth Cullen, the Bojangles Ford, car number 98. And beside him, number 21, Quentin Moore in the Citgo Ford. Fifth row will have car number 7, Johnny Gardner in the Hooters Ford, and number 14, Kellogg's Cornflakes Chevrolet of Nicholas Wade. Sixth row will have Keith Batson, one of our in-car cameras in today's event, the Texaco Haviland Ford, car number 28, and number 25, Jonathan Zorlin in the Kodiak Chevrolet. Row number 7 will have Sky Commons in the number 26 Quaker State Ford, and number 8, Eli Brightnell, Ray Bess's Ford. He has the outside. His win came in the Daytona 500. Next row down, we'll have Zachary Fitzwater, number 52, in the Napa Auto Parts Ford. And our second in-car camera lies inside Charles Sanford in the number 24 DuPont Chevrolet. Next row down, we'll have Preston Plourde with our third in-car camera, the Interstate Battery Chevrolet car number 18, and Mike Becker, number 44, a STP Pontiac. Next row down, we'll have Jose Mills, number 31, in the Mom and Pop's Biscuits Chevrolet, and Kat Batson in the Keystone Beer Ford, car number 16. Next row down has Nathan Orman, number 55, in the Jasper Engines Ford, and Joshua Osborne, number 15, Motorcraft Ford. Next row down has Jesse Turner in the number 71 Chevrolet, that Petty Blue colored machine, and number 40, Mitchell Collins in the Dirt Devil Pontiac, car number 40. Next row down, we'll have Diego Yepes, number 1, the Skull Classic Ford, and number 40, and number 4, it is William Brock, the winner this season at Rockingham, the Kodak Dome Chevrolet. Next row down has Rob Evans, number 12, the Meineke Shocks and Mufflers Ford, and number 75, Factory Stores of America Chevrolet Ford, of James Henry. Next row down, Simon Bloomfield, number 9, the Orkin Pest Control Ford, and number 90, Paul Minnick in the Heiligmeier Stores Ford. Next row down, T.A.J. Dent in the Country Time Lemonade Ford, and beside him will be Ryan Brommer, number 33, Skull Bandit Chevrolet. Then it's Vince Almarego, number 83, the Purex Detergent Ford, and another detergent car, Jay Jefferson in the Tide Ford, car number 5, Tide Chevrolet car number 5. Next row down, Riley Spurley Tube in number 27, McDonald's Ford, and Ty Dent in the Pennzoil Pontiac car number 30, and starting shotgun the field, Zach Winkle in the number 17 Western Auto Chevrolet. So that's the starting line for today's running event. Again, Keith Batson, Charles Sanford, and Preston Plourde will have our in-car cameras in today's event here at Darlington Raceway. We saw the great battle between Cole Deaver and Jessica Shelton early on in the last race on the tour at Atlanta, and they were in the front row of that event, with Deaver taking the win in that race. Shelton, unfortunately for her, had problems while running in the top 3 in that event. And so we'll see what those two can do, along with the other 35 here at Darlington. It's the command scoop about to get them to fire the engines.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
That's a way to get this race going. And it's actually ladies and gentlemen, actually. But anyway, field of 37 strong, rolling off pit road here to see some of the field there. Some of them getting slow, getting stuff going here. Mentioned 4 races in the first 4 winners today. We had Eli Bright winning the Daytona 500. We had William Brock winning at Rockingham. Kyle Matthews won the Caution Fest at Darlington, and Cole Deaver dominated the day at Atlanta. So we'll see if the streak of 5 for 5. We'll see if we can go 5 for 5 at Darlington. We'll see if that's the case. Or will any of those 4 previous mentioned drivers go on to win here today at the track 2 Tut to Tame? We'll find out in 56 laps. Excuse me. On this 1.366 mile racetrack, this track is a very unique shape because it's an egg-shaped racetrack. One set of turns is shorter than the other set. This is turns 3 and 4, the shortest set of turns, while turns 1 and 2 is the longest set where you really can go flat out full throttle on this track. Field rounds off turn number 4 as the green flag's about to be given here, as the field being led in the hands of Cole Deaver, a Ford Chevrolet front row, as the green flag flies. We're underway in the Dodge Challenger 500. Exciting first lap here. Cole Deaver has the early lead. Dylan Young, the second position. Kyle Matthews, third spot now. Fourth, battling to stay in fourth, is Jessica Shelton along with Seth Cole. Johnny Gardner already moving his way up through the field in the number 7 Hooters Ford, the Alan Quickie Special. And this was the track where Kawicki ran his very last race in his career at, obviously in 1993, the year of this car set. So come off the 4th turn here. Dylan Young looks inside of Deaver for the lead. Seth Cole will dive underneath, and here comes Dylan Young in the number 2 Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac. And it's Dylan Young going to the front position here as now Deaver battles with Seth Cole for second place. Off the 4th turn, drag race now off the 4th corner. Seth versus Dylan side by side, and Young has the lead for the moment. And whoa, the two almost touch going into turn number 1. But Seth Cole comes out the top in this one as now Gardner moves inside. Quentin Moore, Keith Batson, and number 28, along with 26 Sky Commons. Riding with Keith Batson and 28, the Texaco Haviland Ford. And there's the roof cam on Batson's car as now Quentin Moore moves inside of Johnny Gardner for the lead position. And Batson's got the best seat in the house for that battle as now he moves inside of Gardner for position. That's for second place. As Gardner's stuck up the track right now. Fords dominate the top 5 positions, all 5 of them here. As Jessica Shelton and Sky Commons hook up. Commons in 26, Shelton in 11. And Shelton will have a special paint scheme in the All-Star races were announced here at this event at Darlington, as she will be driving the Bud Light machine. This is it's not a scheme from 1993, but it is a scheme. But it's based on a scheme but it's based on the Budweiser scheme from '93. Except it's Bud Light, and it's going to be a powder blue car. Speaking of Jessica Shelton, she leads her first lap of the race. As Batson goes backwards, now Preston Plord, who won the last time he was at Darlington in the Southern 500. In an Interstate Batteries Chevrolet, the man he beat is up ahead of him, Dylan Young. As he'll move inside of Shelton for the lead. Let's see what happens off turn number 4. Shelton keeps lead for the moment, but Dylan Young's got the preferred grip on the inside. And he'll take position away as now Plord and Shelton both up the track. There's Seth Cole going by him. Gonna draft off the second turn. Let's see what happens here. And Preston will hit 182 miles an hour in that lap as Eli Bright now goes by. And down about 158 miles an hour in turns 3 and 4. So Preston now dips slow on the track. Shelton and Young both up the track here. Now Eli Bright goes for lead as Seth Cole led his first lap of the race. Very competitive racing here at Darlington, South Carolina. We're just early on. This will be the 10th lap completed, but still 46 laps remaining. Each lap here at Darlington takes about 30 seconds to complete. Off turn number 2, Cole Deaver from his pole position starting position. Trying to go for the lead again. He led the first 2 laps of the race. And here comes Preston to the inside. And a shout out to Nathan Orman, the number 55 car. He's up to 4th position, trying for 3rd on Eli Bright. Now a couple of rookies that's been taking the series by storm, really, to be honest. And now Diego Yepes, another surprise in one car. He's up in this mix. Rob Evans, some of the back starters moving their way up through the field as we look from the copper cam as Rob Evans goes inside of Jessica Shelton for position. That's for, I think, 8th or 9th spot. Nonetheless, though, Evans does take it. Shelton falls in behind as she's in 10th position now. Evans running in 9th. Mike Becker inside as is Becca Tellier in a 6. Nicholas Wade, 14 car. Dylan Poteet, 22 to start this race in 4th position. Has dropped to 15th. Jonathan Zorlin at 25, the pole sitter for the Daytona 500. Excuse me. He's in his mixed car, so he now moves inside a Poteet for the 22 car. Kyle Matthews in behind him in 42, the winner at Richmond this season. You hear several drivers get on the brakes a little bit going in turn number 3. And a battle for the lead brewing between Plord and Deaver. As they go through turns 1 and 2, and Charles Sanford up to 3rd position now. Sanford up to 3rd spot now as we ride with Sanford in the 24 car. 2 of the C states going in here. Plord from Connecticut, Sanford from California. And Sanford decides to push Plord up the track, and he'll go for. And you are riding with him as he takes the lead. Here at Darlington, South Carolina, as we're now 15 in the books and 41 to go. Here comes Seth Cole to the inside. And those two are going to go toe-to-toe as they go through turns 3 and 4. Seth Cole pulls up ahead, but here comes Sanford back on the outside of the track. Cole led the lap by just a few feet. And now Sanford, Plord, and Deaver both go up the track. Becca Tellier in the 6 now going by. Nicholas Wade in the 14 going by. Eli Bright's in behind, as is Zorlin, Shelton, Moore, Mills in this mix, and Keith Batson in 28. Several cars getting into it now, as now Dylan Young looks for the lead another time. Darn pace car. And Young will take the lead position now, as here comes Becca Tellier in behind. And she'll stick the nose of that Valvoline forward to the inside of Young's Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac. Side-by-side drag race to the line. It is Young leading that lap for the moment. And Tellier gets the side draft in the 1, and she'll take the lead. Mike Becker now to second place in 44. Lead change in hands a lot here at Darlington. Here, as we've seen some competitive racing since this version of the Darlington has been used in this series. Rear bumper came from Charles Sanford's car. Looking right at the 55 of Nathan Orman and a 22 of Dylan Poteet. TJ Denson is mixing the 68 cars. He's about to go by in that paint car. And he's got a bumper, and the bumper cam's is full of green now. Preston Plord in the 18. And there's the bumper cam from Plord's machine as well as he gets by Sanford. And this man, Keith Batson, he has a special cam on his car here at Darlington. And it's the front bumper cam. We see those a lot used. We haven't seen those used a lot. We will be seeing both ends of the cameras used in all 3 of the camera cars on the short tracks, which will be starting a couple races from now at Bristol. Next race after this one, though, will be at Texas Motor Speedway for the Interstate Batteries 500 next on the tour. And they're looking at the back of Mike Becker's number 44 car and the 31 of Jose Mills. And battle for the lead about the Brew here. 21 of Quentin Moore, 11 of Jessica Shelton. As Shelton takes the lead for the moment, here comes Moore to the inside. As he sticks the nose at Morgan Shepherd special to the inside. Shelton, of course, in the Elliott car. Shelton led the last time by, but here comes Quentin Moore, and he'll take the lead from Shelton for the moment. Average speed after 23 laps, 170.97 miles per hour, almost 171 miles an hour average here at Darlington. Seth Cole sticking the nose of his Bojangles forward to the inside, and Jose Mills up to third position now in the 31 car. Here comes Batson, Young, hooked up to the inside. With some great racing we're having here today at Darlington. And we'll take a look at some of the back of the pack drivers. Riley Spurley in 37th position. Jefferson in 36th. So some of the drivers needs a little tune-up here. Ty Dent in the 30 car. There's Zach Winkle in 17. Cat Bass in the 16 car. 4 car of William Brock, who won the season at Rockingham. He's in the back now. 30. Sky Cummins, who was up in the top 10 a while back, he's up to 26. He's down in 28th position. And Charles Samper also has slid back in the 24 machine, as he was the leader a few laps ago. There he is. And now Kyle Matthews dropping back in the 42 car. Samper and Matthews side by side in the turn 3. Again, to see some new players up in the top 10 right now. Quentin Moore up in the high side. There's Joshua Osborne in 15 to the inside. As he's pushing the 71 of Jesse Turner and the 75 car of James Henry. James Henry up to the 9th position right now. Let's see where he's at next year. This time by, he's clocked in the 8th spot now. And Keith Batson, who was the leader, is now slipped to the high side. Now the 6th car of Becca Taylor takes the lead. And she's got Seth Cole behind him behind her in 98. Nathan Orman in 3rd position, Zorlin in 4th, and Shelton is in 5th. Just past halfway home, 29 in the books and 27 to go. Fast lap of the race so far being held by Dylan Young at 174.5 miles an hour. Pole speed was over 173. And here comes Seth Cole for the lead now in 98. Shelton to 2nd place now. Off turn number 2. Ford's pretty much just ruling the roost here at Darlington. They have an incredible engine package under the hood of those machines. Seth Cole led the lap just barely. Now Shelton gets a side drive off the 98 car. And back to the lead she goes. Jonathan Zorlin right behind the Rick Hendricks Chevrolet number 25. Off the 2nd turn, and it's Zorlin to 2nd place. Jose Mills in the 31 car, looking to surprise there as he's out the 3rd spot. The Mom and Pop's Goodwrench Western Steer machine. James Henry of the 4th position, and here comes the battle for 5th. There's a couple of new players here. Jesse Turner and Joshua Osborne now battle it out. 5th and 6th place. Johnny Gardner in the 7 car up to 10th place now in the number 7 car. Seth Cole has dropped to, well, actually, Gardner's up to 8th position. Seth Cole is back to 9th. And they've caught the lap car of Riley Spurley-Tube in the number 27. Going to the inside, Shelton takes position of, actually puts a lap on the 27 car. Jose Mills, meanwhile, is up to 2nd position now as the 25 of Zorlin hung up on the high side behind the 27 car, and he's got no way to go to the inside now. And a couple races from now, we're going to bring you the action at Bristol, Tennessee. You're going to see the classic example of that. One car gets up on the high side and has no way to go to the inside until the line's clear. And a lot of times you got a guy going from 1st or 2nd place back to about maybe 21st or 22nd by the time he or she finds an inside lane at a track like that. Darlington apparently the same way. The only way you can pass really is on the straightaways, but they are making bold moves in the turns. We're used to. You don't dare go too wide at Darlington. But meantime, Jessica Sheldon has the lead. But there's 2 guys I'll be watching out for right now. That's the 71 and the 15 cars. Those two have been fighting their way up to the front. That's Jesse Turner and Joshua Osborne, and throwing Zachary Fitzwater in the 52 cars. He gets by Osborne. That's 4th place. Those we're going to be looking at right there, and maybe also Johnny Gardner as he gets by Osborne now to the to take 5th away. And here comes Jesse Turner to the inside of Jose Mills. That's for 2nd place. And they are all up there together now as they go to turn number 1. And Mills up to the high side says, okay, guys, and I didn't want to get position up that early in the race. But up front is still Jessica Shelton. In the meantime, Ford's out of the top. Let's see, we're looking at top 6 spots. Fords have 5 of them. Zorlin goes by, Quentin Moore goes by, Dylan Young, Cole Beaver goes by, James Henry in the 75 goes by, and Diego Yepes in the 1. He starts to try to close up. And a shout out to Vince Almarego in the number 83 car. He's up to the 14th position right now as he's being pushed by Sky Commons in 26. That's 14th and 15th. In the meantime, Sky Commons moves inside. He's going to bring Becca Tellier with him, as well as the aid of Eli Bright. And a battle for the lead began to develop here as Zachary Fitzwater, actually it's a battle for 2nd place there, Fitzwater and Osborne going at it, as they've caught the 5 car of Jay Jefferson, and Fitzwater says, "Nah, that's my spot." So Osborne's going to have to try it again if he gets up when he gets up to the back of the 52 car. Meantime, the 52 is about to get up to the back of the 11. Now, as they're coming up on 13 to go, so they're about to complete the 43rd lap of this event. Ford's occupying the top 4 of the top 5 spots. They're actually the first 4 spots. Zorlin, the first non-Ford product in the top 5. He's in 5th. Fitzwater trying to find a weakness out of Jessica Shelton. So you got 2 red Fords right there with a dash of yellow and blue and then sandwiched in the middle. Closing up on 10 laps to go right there. Quentin Moore in 6th position. Beaver in 7th. 8th is Young. 9th is James Henry. And 10th is Jose Mills as he's about to have company with the 1 car, I should say, of Diego Yepes in 11th place. 12th is Sky Commons. 13th, Jesse Turner. 14th is Eli Bright. 15th is Vince Almarego. Preston Ford 16th. 17th, they're about to take 17th away, is Nicholas Wade. Seth Cole and Becca Tellier both up the track. Nicholas Wade goes by. Kyle Matthews goes by. Mike Becker goes by. And here comes Poteet in 22. He and Rob Evans in this mix, as well as the 55 and Nathan Ormond. Then you got 2 of the KB teammates there. Kat Batson in 16 and Keith Batson in 28. As we had now got 10 laps to go at Darlington. On board Keith Batson's car from 26th place. And off the turn. And Jay Jefferson gets off the turn as Becca Tellier and Keith Batson touched a little bit in the turn number 4. You were riding with Batson when it happened. And getting back to the leaders, we now have a 4-car shootout for the lead here. Osborne's caught up, as has Johnny Gardner. Gardner won a race last season. Gardner won a season finale last season at Homestead for his only win of the year. Fitzwater won at Michigan at Rockingham. Osborne won the 600 at Charlotte. Shelton won about, I think, 4 races last season. And here comes Osborne for 2nd. 7 laps to go. Fitzwater closes up. Fitzwater shuts the door on Osborne. They want to stay in line, though. That's the key right there. They want to stay in line to try to get the draft off the leader's car if he or she wants a chance for the win. But I'd say a pack closing up. I don't know if it's going to be a 4-car shootout, though. We may have a 6-car shootout, possibly. Because Quentin Moore and Dylan Young are both closing up. But they are running out of time. That was the completion of lap number 50. We have 6 to go. Does Fitzwater have anything for Shelton? He appears that he may have something possibly for that 11 car up front. That's not to say that what Osborne and Gardner may have planned themselves. Fitzwater sticks a nose to the inside. Let's see what happens on turn number 2. Shelton slams the door on Fitzwater. Fitzwater may try again in the turns 3 and 4 now. Takes a peek to the inside again. Here they come off turn number 4. And he may have a... Oh, I thought he had a run off the 4th turn, but nothing doing. 4 to go. Six cars hooked together here. Quentin Moore and Dylan Young are now the caboose of this train. And we may have Cole Deaver throwing his mix in at number 3 Goodwrench car, possibly. This is almost like a drafting train, like we'll see at Talladega a few races from now. Three to go, 2.5 now. Fitzwater trying to close up. Or he has closed up, though. Let's see, he's trying to make a move to the inside. We've seen final lap passes at Darlington before the win before. And I think Fitzwater may be fixing up for 1, possibly right now. 2 to go. In the turn 3, what are they? 7 cars hooked up. What are they gonna do? Fitzwater peeks to the inside. Does he have a run off the 4th turn? Not quite. To start finish line to come. The white flag waves. Will it be Shelton? Will it be Fitzwater? Anybody right behind him? Gardner goes inside. Gardner goes inside of Osborne for 3rd. He's got it. It's going to leave it up between the 52 and the 11 to settle among themselves. Both of them looking for win number 1 of the season here. Fitzwater 52, Shelton in the 11. Which one will it be in victory lane today? Off the 4th turn they come here. Fitzwater tries to close up, but it's not going to happen. Off the 4th turn, Jessica Shelton wins the Dodge Challenger 500 at Darlington. So Jessica Shelton, the number 11 Budweiser Ford, wins in her home state for the 3rd time. 2 of those in the Southern 500, and her first at this particular event. And I tell you what, Fitzwater gave it a few good shots there in his last 5 laps. So I tell you what, one say for lack of trying out that 52 car. He does come in 2nd, though. 3rd will go to Johnny Gardner. 4th to Quentin Moore. Dylan Young 5th. 6th to Cole Deaver. 7th to Joshua Osborne. 8th to Jonathan Sorlin. 9th to Sky Commons. And 10th position to Diego Yepes. So 5 races in the books and 5 different winners here in this season. We'll see if we make a 6 for 6 at Texas, the next race on the tour. But Jessica Shelton will come home the victor here today at Darlington. Rest of the finishing order for you here. Jose Mills comes home on 11th. Kyle Matthews 12th. Mike Becker, Preston Plord, and Seth Cole the top 15. 16 through 20, Poteet, Turner, Wade, Almarego, and Bright the top 20. Then it's Keith Batson, Cat Batson, James Henry, William Brock, and Ryan Brommer, the top 25. Then it's TJ Dent, Nathan Orman, Charles Sanford dropped to 28 in the final running order. Then Mitchell Collins and Rob Evans rounds out the top 30. 31st on down, Simon Bloomfield, Becca Tellier, Paul Minnick, Ty Dent, and Zach Winkle. Was the last car on the lead lap. Riley Sporting and Jay Jefferson was the last two cars out that finished, but they both came on one lap down. So that will do it here today at Darlington, South Carolina. Again, congratulations to Jessica Shelton, the winner of the Dodge Challenger 500. If you like what you see here, be sure to subscribe to the Inner Sports Gaming Channel. Get everything on the channel. Get inner races, gaming videos, whatever the president of the NNSCRA desires for his channel. And please be sure to check out the Coors Light Truck Series, the Pizza Hut X Series, the Hershey's Cup Series, and the Last Miss Light Series here on this channel as well as our other NNSCRA series, including the Marvel Studios Cup Series and the Budweiser All Pro Series. Please be sure to check those races out as well. And you will not regret it because the best offline races are under the NNSCRA umbrella. And you never know what's going to pop up sometimes. Anyway, Texas is the next stop on the tour for the running of the Interstate Batters 500. And for now, this is James Qualls doing production of the NNSCRA offline racing at its best.